Today, I'm going to take you through the process of applying to a government job. I will be applying for a management analyst position at the GS-14 level. Let's get into it. First, click on the job announcement and then scroll down to the qualifications section. This is where you'll see specialized experience. You want to make sure that your resume is speaking directly to this section. This is really the first place that you should be looking at a job announcement before even applying. So we can tell for this position, they're looking for somebody who has energy experience. So if you do not have energy experience, you wouldn't even apply for this type of job. Okay, let's continue. So we decided we still wanted to apply, so we scroll up and click the blue apply button. Here, we select what resume we would like to use. You should probably have a few resumes uploaded, and I will select the one that is my 0300 resume. Every job series should have its own resume. I have one for the 0300 job series, the 1700, and the 0200 job series. Okay, then click Save and Continue. Next, you'll be selecting all of your supporting documents. This includes transcripts, performance appraisals, and SF50s, among other documents that you might want to include. Then click Save and Continue. Next, you will review the package, click You acknowledge that you reviewed it, and then click Save and Continue. The next screen should ask you about your demographics. You do not have to share this information if you do not want to. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Then click Save and Continue. Next, the screen will ask you how you found out about this job announcement. I usually either pick I searched on USAJobs.gov or I received an email. Once again, I do not think it makes a huge difference which one of these you pick. Scroll down and click Save and Continue. Next, you will click to certify your information and then click Continue to Agency Site. This will take us to the federal agency's site so we can continue to apply. Now, let's say you're applying for the Department of Justice or Department of Energy. Once you fill out the information, the first couple of screens, it'll save that information. So if you apply for another job in that same agency, a lot of that work will already be saved for you. You have to wait about 30 seconds for the application to populate, and then scroll down and click the Continue button. The next screen will be your personal information, so I'm not showing that right now. Okay, so this is the actual application. It starts off with eligibility. You want to pay attention to this area because if you click the wrong button, you can disqualify yourself. The first question is about veterans preference. So if you're not a veteran, mark no, and if you are, answer whatever applies to you. The second question is also a veteran question, which is asking about disability. The next question is asking if you are a current government employee applying for promotion or reinstatement. We will mark no for this question. Next is a surplus or displaced employee question. This applies to people who are laid off from a government job, so we will mark no to this question. This question also doesn't apply to most people, so we will be marking no. Now it's asking if we are a spouse to a service member who has a 100% disability rating or has lost their life. We will mark no. Next, are we a Peace Corps member? No, we are not. And the next couple of questions will also get a no answer. And we have another veteran question which we will mark yes. You can too if it is true. And we have yet another veteran question which you can mark yes or no. Now we can click Continue. So this eligibility page can be very discouraging because you saw the amount of no's we were marking. But do not let that discourage you. Even though you're marking down 75, 80% or all no's, you can still get referred, you can still get the interview, you can definitely still get the job. Next is a screen about preferences. Here, sometimes you'll be asked if you have family members that work in the agency. If you do, you would list them here. If not, you type in NA for non-applicable. The next question is if you served as a political appointee. This is usually referring to political appointee SESs. Most people will click no and then type in NA at the bottom. Next, click Continue. Okay, so now we have the self-assessment page. Here, it's asking you if you have 12 months of specialized experience equivalent to the GS-13 grade level. We will select that we do possess this experience. Okay, so if we never worked a government job before, how do we know if our experience matches GS-13 or GS-12, 14, or whatever? How do we know what our experience is matching? One of the ways is if you open the OPM Job Series Handbook. That's a handbook that Human Resources uses to classify positions. You can look through there on your job series, whatever grade that you're looking at, and it will tell you what type of experience you need to have for that type of grade. So it's really going to come down to your own personal judgment, knowing what you did and seeing it in the Job Series Handbook. Also, It comes down to how you're writing the experience in the resume. So if you're writing it, you're quantifying it, you're showing the achievement, it's relevant to the job announcement, that will get you qualified for a lot more than if you don't put the time to do that. The next section we have tells us to identify where we received this experience. You do not want to type "see resume" in this box. You list exactly where in your resume the experience is clearly listed. For example, it could have been as a management analyst in the Department of Justice from May 2019 to present. Next, we're going to be asked to do a self-evaluation on our experience. There are several options to choose from, but I would recommend you mark that you are considered an expert in performing this task. If you do not feel comfortable marking that option, then I would suggest you find another job announcement to apply for. Because if you do not select that you are an expert, a lot of times you can disqualify yourself. We will continue down this list while reading carefully the experience that is required. If you find something that's not covered in your resume, then you need to make sure you go back and add it. Because even if you marked expert, the HR specialist can take a look at your resume to see if it actually justifies the expert option. If you find yourself going down the list and over half of the questions have nothing to do with your resume, then you're probably applying for the wrong job, or your resume is not written well enough. The last section will ask you to verify that your answers are true and accurate. You should review your answers, select yes, and then click continue. Next, you'll be taken to a document page where you will select the documents that you would like to send with your application. Here I select resume, DD-214 to prove that I'm a veteran, my VA letter to prove disability, my latest performance appraisal, and the rest of my documents. Notice I'm leaving a lot of options blank because I don't have those documents or they simply do not apply for this job. When you are complete, click continue. If you have any unassigned documents, you will get a notification like this. You can either add those documents or click continue. It is now time to review and submit. We have all green check marks. If there were any errors, it would be identified in red. We now click acknowledgement for our supporting documentations and click submit application. When you do that, you should see a screen just like this. Now, the federal hiring process involves a lot more than just applying for these job announcements. In fact, there are 8 steps that are required in order to attain a federal government job. If you want to know what those 8 steps are, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.